Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Vivianoseni, and on this channel, I talk about everything nursing, lifestyle, beauty, and all that good stuff. Hope you guys are doing okay. So we're scheduled to go live at working properly. So I'm not gonna be starting anything sinister, but I just wanted to make sure. Oh, sorry. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Vivianoseni, and this channel I talk about everything nursing, lifestyle, beauty. We go live at 4:15, and so we're just 2 minutes early into our startup time. Sorry for the sound earlier on. The Jack is back in. I'm sure you can hear me. Hello, everybody. Hello, hi. Say your hellos in the comments. Say hello, Rebecca. I can see you. Well done. You are right on time. You are just perfect. You're the perfect nurse, as a matter of fact. Over here in the UK, we are very time conscious. Like, no African time, nothing. 7:30 is 7:30. As a matter of fact, 7:30 can be 7 o'clock. So we're all here. I'm already answering questions on Facebook with people, on Instagram already. So we'll just make it live, and we're gonna share our experiences and our thoughts. Well, I just came back from school runs, and yeah, about relocating to the UK and answering your questions. So if you have any questions, please do well to ask them in the section. I'm trying to pin a question. My network is obviously messing with me this morning, or this evening rather. I hope it sorts itself out. Anyway, I'll start. I'm sure we know YouTube, so we can continue discussing here, so I can answer your questions. So she's asking the question, how can I bring my partner along with me to the UK when relocating if we are yet to be married? Okay, so my adults to be a dependent on a nurse's visa, they have to. If you're not married, like, which may not be actually be feasible, but can be feasible for some people. So if you want to bring your partner to the UK and you're not married yet, you cannot put them on your visa as a dependent because they're not married to you. So the only way to prove their dependency on you is that you have to be married to them or in a civil partnership. And this can be done by getting a court marriage. And a court marriage can be arranged in 3 weeks, I'm sure, even in Nigeria. And you get the papers and your proof of marriage, and then you can go ahead and travel. You can always come back to the country. Once you've done this, you can always go back home and do a proper marriage. So that's whichever you want. You can come to the UK first to get married. You can go back home and get. It's just so having certificates in different names does not affect your journey to the UK, because the next question is of name change. I did the new newspaper declaration of name change, and those were my documents and my marriage certificate. Those were the documents I presented to NMC to prove that I am the same person. All you need to prove is that you're the same person who is applying, and you're the same person who's going to be writing the examination. So it does not affect anything. But for you to prove that your spouse is dependent on you, or that your spouse is your dependent, you have traditional weddings. So if you have, and traditional wedding is accepted by the law in Nigeria and in most countries of the world as customary law. So you can actually the NMC, but they prefer things that are legal. So just to avoid traditional marriages may prove mostly when you want to NMC. The NMC does not, or I don't know what else is obtainable to go about changing your name in your home country so every other person can learn going forward from this. But in Nigeria, I know we have the newspaper change of name, we have the affidavit of change of name, and then you also have your marriage certificate as an immigration service or any immigration service at all. Just because you want to change your name, and they will also ask you for your marriage certificate. You get your name changed, and yeah, that's it. I am so sorry with the it's the network. That's not me. Totally not me. Okay. Another question is, can my spouse decide to come meet me after I get my PIN, or must we go? Okay. Decision to go together and travel down to the UK as a family is obviously a personal issue which has to be discussed. The pros and cons, what do you stand to lose, what do you stand to gain? But definitely, most definitely, you get your pay, and then you can for your marriages, or you can arrange for him to come over. A new family also, I want you to take into consideration that it's important that your family is knitted together and that you grow as a unit. So you don't want to be married and then um nothing is separating of marriage already. We know duties, or people are already stereotyping nurses as not being a very favorable job as much of the nature and the timings of our job. So you don't want to go into marriage newly weds and already be having the issue of being away in distance just because you're writing exams or the other. So if your partner is willing to come with you, I would advise you should support it as much as possible. And if he also wants to stay back and come back later, all well and good. My point is, at the end of the day, make sure you are maintaining your family unit and ensuring proper communication, because you don't want to grow in your career and then begin to say, had I known later. So maintain your family relations and your relationships, and happy marriage to you guys. Okay. All right. So that's one question answered. Um, the other question I have here is, I heard the NMC has changed their rules recently. I am a graduate of last year, but I don't have registration yet. I heard I can apply I heard I can apply for NMC UK and get my Hi Sismo, hi Afolalu Temitope. Hello everybody. Hello Christopher. Hello, I'm happy to have you guys here. Okay, so I'm answering the question from Omobeki. She says, can she continue her application for registration in the UK even with her BSc certificate? Now, the new rule that was introduced by the NMC says that you can start your registration immediately after that. In Nigeria, you need your NMCN registration to practice as a licensed CN registration to practice as a licensed nurse in Nigeria. And that rule says if your certificate is going to make you registered nurse in your home country, then you can go on with your application in the day. So, and we all know that our BSc certificate alone does not give you registration pin in Nigeria. Even if you have your BSc, you still need to pass the Nursing and Midwifery Council nursing exam to be given your pin to practice. Still, will Midwifery Council confirm that they can register you with the BSc. And obviously, the NMCN will say no, even if he or she has a BSc certificate, we cannot register he or she until this. So get your PIN, and then you can start. You can continue your application process, but you can definitely start your application process with the NMC. But I'm sure you're going to be stranded at the verification stage, because the NMC will definitely be feedback. Hope that answers that question. Okay, so my next question here is from Temitope. She says, "Can I get a phone contract in my first month?" The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You can actually get a phone contract in your first month if you call directly. What you have to do is to call the provider directly. They have free SIMs in the UK. They can easily give you contracts. But the kind of contracts they will give you is not the full contract where you tell them you can phone. Anyway, Vodafone has contracts for people like us who come into the UK, I would say, that are cheap. And this contract is for just £5. You have like 250 minutes or 100 minutes in a month. I think 250 megabyte data. So you pay £5. I remember then I opted for the cheapest one, which was the £5, and upgraded to £10 before I got my phone. So you can always get a contract, not a phone contract. Sorry, my dear. For a phone contract, you have to prove that you have you've gotten your first job, and you must have had this same contract, which I just mentioned now, which is a £5 or a £10 contract. And then after your first 2 to 3 months in the UK, you can now call back that you want to upgrade and get it. Because you've been consistent with your £5 or £10 big value, but they are going to give you that phone contract. But you cannot just, you can prove that you have a steady employment and that you can pay your credits to the company. And that's the question. And Temitope also asks the question, when can I start masters after coming to the UK? So I get a lot of questions about studying in the UK. And yes, you can start your program when you come to the UK, as a matter of fact, immediately. But then you have to have gotten your you have to be studying part-time, if you get me, because you cannot be working full-time and studying full-time. You can start immediately. Nobody stops you from starting immediately, but bear in mind that you have to pay the international fee because you're not yet a permanent resident. So you still have to pay the exorbitant fees for school fees, which is a lot of money. But if you're able to afford this, then nobody stops you from studying. As a matter of fact, you even have some trusts who have universities affiliated with them. So like Hampton, I think South, and some other big national health trusts. These trusts have universities affiliated with them and have students who run programs with them. So you can actually pick up a master's program or a specialty program. One, you have to do it as part-time. And part-time, you know how long it's going to take. Not so long, but then my point is it will be expensive for you. But if you have the money to do it, go all well and good, go ahead and do it. But if you think it's expensive for you, wait until you have your indefinite leave to remain, and then you can do your masters. But if you're pressed on doing your masters, go ahead. Another thing I would like to advise is that in the UK here, there is really no craze about masters. So except you are an academic, somebody who wants to go into lecturing or teaching or things like that, interested in the UK here, look for specialties that interest you and grow into those specialties. Look for placements in those specialties and then increase your status as a nurse in those specialty. As a really want to do your master's, that answers your question. An unfurnished apartment. This is a very relevant question. In the UK, you can actually get apartments as furnished or unfurnished. Now, in furnished apartments, you have an apartment that is already filled with white goods like chairs, tables, cooking equipment, tables, and all of that. And in unfurnished apartments, you have the basics, dishwasher, which is basic, but some apartments may not come with them. They will definitely come with a stove or a kitchen station. So furnished apartments are usually okay when you come first to the UK because you cannot run around buying things. But the thing about furnished apartments is that they can be very difficult to maintain. for married people, especially with children. But if you're single and not married without children, living in a furnished apartment is okay if the fare or if the cost of the apartment is all right. Because you just came into the UK newly and you may just not be able to afford it. So getting a furnished apartment is okay, but get affordable furnished apartments. Don't go paying exorbitant amounts just because it's furnished. In most worst case scenario, on the standard amount of an unfurnished apartment, it shouldn't be more than 50 to £100 included for the price of a furnished apartment. So furnished apartments are good, especially when you come first to the UK and you do not have money. This is what your employer is going to provide for you in the first place. They're going to provide a furnished apartment for you or a shared apartment. And then once you've settled yourself and you are okay, you can move in to get your own things and create your own space. If a married person are advised to you cannot even stay in a shared apartment, they're gonna give you a furnished apartment. And once you've been established in the country, you can find your own place and move. But if you're single, it's all nice to stay in a furnished apartment. All you need to do is to keep the place clean. Singles, furnished apartments is okay because it saves you the stress of buying furniture, saves you the stress of thinking of moving furniture when you change houses or change jobs. It saves you the stress of even paying bills because some of these furnished apartments come plan to move to your own apartments and do your own thing because your children are going to dirty the walls, your children are going to mess the furniture, and all this is going to incur cost on yourself. Because when you're going to leave the apartments, you're most likely going to pay a lot of money and lose your deposits from that. How realistic, thank you very much, Christopher. How realistic is the option to terminate your contract prematurely and leaving to another country from the UK with them forever? Even when you have a contract to stay with them for 2 years or three, depending on what your contract says, you can still leave. Nobody has the right to keep you against your will. However, you have conditions attached to your leaving. You either have to pay up the money they incurred in getting you to the UK, which sometimes gets up to the tune of £3,000. But if you've worked a few months, I'm sure you must have saved a lot of money, which is why I always say coming is just very easy because you have the Pearson View Center in the UK. Now, if you're planning to go to Germany, because you're already a registered nurse in the UK, Germany and Australia are going to see you as a European Union nurse, and your registration part is going to be different from people who are applying from Nigeria. So coming to the UK for me is a stepping stone, and employment in a year or in 2 years, you're going to pay X or Y amount of money. Then the only way you can leave that contract is to pay that total sum of money. Or sometimes, even if you can't pay directly, they will take your last salary and tell you to pay the remaining monies into an account that will be given in transmission. So if you have finished your, if you're in the UK, okay. I'll just, so if you think, so if you think that your contract is monies you're expected, once you pay all the monies you're expected and keep those the terms of the contracts, that's where there can be a problem. Okay, so you want to the UK, like I say, for most people is even a stepping stone. So feel free to do what you want, but ensure you are taking into cognizance the terms of your contract. Okay, then I get an apartment have okay, there is something wrong with my I cannot see, my network is breaking. I can't see your messages on, but so I'm gonna do it through another means. Most at times, they provide Airbnb apartment have a bank account, which is your proof of address. The other thing you need to do, your bank statements and your council tax or your no. Oh my god. Okay, so my children are interrupting me. It's not here, my love. Okay, I'm just gonna take a break and be back because I need to sort. Yes, ma'am. No, 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 fine. This one, is it mine? No. It's mommy. No, no. Oh, look what's this. No. I'll never say it. That's not. Hello. Hello, everybody. I do apologize. I apologize a lot for that break. So the questions I have here. Hello, everybody. I do apologize. I apologize a lot for that break. Okay, Sister Mo says, I do not have proof of address. So in your first few months in the UK, your employer is going to give you outside of the UK. So definitely you're going to get accommodation. And then once you've stayed in your employer's accommodation for a while, your bank statement and your payment of your bills, which is water, council tax, and electricity, to pay your electricity bill. That way you can have your proof of address as quickly as for you. So okay, so the other question I'm being asked is, so if I get my degree from another country, can I start my application with the NMC? So just like I mentioned with Nigeria, if the degree that you have from another country need to get your registration started with the NMC, first confirm that your certificate from your country of study is going to be accepted for you to be a registered nurse in that country. So if, for instance, you studied in India or in Cameroon, and with a BSc alone, the Council of Nurses in Cameroon or India is going to give you registration to practice as a nurse, then yes, the NMC is going to proceed with your registration. But if the Council of India or Cameroon requires something else included with your BS certificate, then the NMC will not for you to be registered to have a PIN or to practice as a nurse in that country. I hope that is clear. Ugochi says, what if I come with family at the first in your interview stage or in your um, single rooms accommodations? So if that's the case with your employer which you want to work with and work and then gather money and get your best and then proof of they should provide you the appropriate accommodation for. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I have any other questions. And if I don't have any questions, we will call it a day. But a friend who sent the message said it's been extended to 30th of this month. Please, how real is this message? Okay, so about Brexit, nothing affects Brexit and your job. Nursing is still in the shortage occupation. I think this is what they need to do to come to the UK. There is no termination date. There is no expiry date for you to come to the UK. Your nursing is in the shortage occupation and will be there for a while. So you can come to the UK once you pass your exam. Don't worry about deadlines. You require for social amounts of persons in your family, and they'll give you the proper or shared accommodation for a while. So gather the money you need to go ahead and get a proper accommodation for your family and bring them over to the UK. Third less in the country, and we have so you need to put it to your employer that you're coming with your family and you need appropriate accommodation and what can they do for you. Now, getting proof of credit history in the UK is easy. Council address. So that's three proof of address which you can get in 2 or 3 months in the UK. And with this proof of address, you can do anything, even as much as getting a good credit history. And for credit history, just ensure you have good savings in your account and that you're not owing any debt. NEPA bills or your electricity bills, pardon me, electricity bills or your water bills. Pay them by direct debit in your account, whereby the money is paid directly to those companies. That direct debit gives you good history, credit history, because people see you are making regular payments from your account. So don't pay your bills just pay through your card. Make it a regular payment by direct debit. Okay, I think we've come to the end of today's sessions of question and answer. I'll do my best to come again next time. We see you again on this live video. Thank you for being with me. I do appreciate your time and I thank you for your questions. I hope I've been able to add some value or to answer some of your questions. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and don't forget to keep engaged with me in my next live video. Thank you for coming. I do appreciate time to come online. I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate again for the break that we had earlier on. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Thank you, and bye bye.